Imagine this. You're exposed to radiation before you even leave your house. Not in a sci-fi glowing green way, but in quiet, invisible doses every single day. I spent my life studying radiation, and today I'll show you where it's hiding in yours. Hello, curious mind. If I may borrow your attention, radiation is not your enemy. It is a natural force woven into the fabric of our world. But understanding it, that is where your power lies. Let us explore 5 ordinary things that bring radiation into your daily life and what it truly means. 1. Your smartphone. Let us begin with something you have likely touched within the last few seconds. Your smartphone. It rests in your hand, sits in your pocket, sleeps beside your pillow. A quiet companion. But here is the true that. Every moment it is powered on, it is sending and receiving energy. Invisible waves moving through you, around you, and beyond you. This is radiation. Now, before your imagination runs wild, allow me to guide you gently back to reason. Not all radiation is the same. The radiation from your phone is what we call non-ionizing. It does not possess the force required to break apart your DNA. It cannot rewrite the code of your cells. It is, in essence, low energy, closer to warmth than to harm. But here is where things become interesting. Your phone communicates constantly, even when you are not actively using it. It reaches out to towers, to Wi-Fi networks, to satellite sending signals, receiving signals, maintaining connection. And the closer this device is to your body, the stronger your exposure becomes. Think of it like standing near a quiet speaker. From across the room, the sound is faint. But press it against your ear, and suddenly it fills your entire awareness. The same principle applies. Now, does this mean your phone is dangerous? No. Not in the dramatic way many fear, but science does not ask only, is it dangerous? It asks, how much? How often? How close? Because small exposures, repeated endlessly, become part of your environment. Consider this: many people sleep with their phones inches from their heads. Others carry them in pockets for hours each day, close to the body's most sensitive tissues. This is not a crisis. But it is a habit worth examining. You see, the power here lies not in fear, but in choice. A few small changes, shielding your phone slightly away during calls, using headphones, placing it on a table instead of your body. These reduce your exposure effortlessly. No sacrifice, only awareness. In my work, I learned something profound. The most dangerous forces are not always the strongest, but the ones we fail to notice. Your smartphone is not your enemy. It is a remarkable tool, that connects you to the world in ways I could scarcely have imagined. But like all tools that harness invisible energy, it deserves a measure of respect. So the next time you pick it up, remember, you are not just holding a device. You are holding a small transmitter of energy in constant conversation with the world around you. And now you are part of that conversation with understanding. 2. Bananas. Now let us turn to something far more innocent, or so it seems. A banana. Simple, sweet, familiar. You have eaten one without hesitation, without a second thought. But what if I told you this humble fruit is radioactive? Yes, truly. Inside every banana is potassium, a mineral your body needs to function. Your muscles depend on it. Your heart relies on it. It is essential to life itself. But a very small portion of that potassium exists as a naturally radioactive form, known as potassium-40. And so with every bite, you are consuming radiation. Now pause. Feel that moment of surprise, because this is where understanding begins. You see, radiation is not some rare man-made anomaly. It is not confined to laboratories or disasters. It exists in the soil, in the air, and even in the food that sustains you. But here is the part most people misunderstand. The amount of radiation in a banana is extraordinarily small. So small, in fact, that scientists jokingly use it as a unit of measurement, the banana equivalent dose. It is not a warning. It is a perspective. Your body, in its quiet brilliance, is already adapted to this. You carry potassium inside you right now, which means you are already slightly radioactive. Not dangerously, not unusually, simply, naturally. So why does this matter? Because it changes the way you see the world. Fear often comes from the unknown, from things that feel unnatural or hidden. But when you realize that radiation exists even in something as gentle as a piece of fruit, it begins to lose its mystery. It becomes part of the story of life itself. Now imagine this. If eating one banana exposes you to a tiny trace of radiation, how many would it take to become harmful? Not 1, not 10, not even 1,000 in a short time. Your body regulates potassium carefully. It maintains balance with extraordinary precision. You would feel full long before you felt any effect from radiation. So no, bananas are not dangerous. They are, in fact, a beautiful reminder that nature is not divided into safe and unsafe in the way we often believe. Instead, it is a balance of forces, some invisible, all working together. In my time, we discovered radiation with a sense of awe. It was mysterious, powerful, misunderstood. But you have the privilege of clarity. So the next time you peel a banana, consider this. You are not just eating fruit. You are participating in a quiet, natural exchange of energy that has existed long before you and will continue long after. And perhaps, instead of fear, you will feel something far more powerful. Understanding. 3. Aeroplane. Flights. Now let us leave the ground. Imagine yourself seated by the window of an airplane. The engines hum. The earth falls away, and within minutes you are miles above the surface of the planet. It feels almost detached from reality. But up here, something subtle changes. You are closer to space, and from space there is a constant rain of energy, cosmic radiation traveling across unimaginable distances, passing through stars, through galaxies, and eventually toward Earth. Down below, you are protected. The atmosphere acts as a shield, thick, layered, quietly absorbing much of this radiation before it ever reaches you. It is one of the reasons life can exist here at all. But as you ascend, that shield becomes thinner, and with every mile higher, your exposure increases. Now, do not mistake this for danger in the dramatic sense. A single flight does not harm you. Even several flights do not suddenly place you at risk. But this is where the story becomes more nuanced. Because radiation, as I have said, is not about a single moment. It is about accumulation. Consider the frequent flyer, the pilot, the flight attendant, those who spend hundreds, even thousands of hours in the sky each year. They receive more radiation than those who remain on the ground. In fact, airline crew are among the most radiation-exposed workers, not from machines, not from accidents, but simply from being closer to the cosmos. And yet, even this is carefully monitored, studied, and kept within safe limits. So what does this mean for you? It means that every time you fly, you are participating in a quiet exchange with the universe itself. You are, quite literally, stepping into a stream of cosmic energy that has traveled for millions of years to reach you. There is something almost poetic in that, but again understanding removes fear. The dose you receive on a flight is small, comparable to other everyday exposures. It does not linger in your body. It does not accumulate in a way you must worry about from occasional travel. Still, awareness has its value. Long-haul flights, high altitudes, polar routes, these increased exposure slightly more. Not enough to alarm, but enough to appreciate. Because when you understand what surrounds you even miles above the earth, you begin to see the invisible threads connecting you to everything beyond it. In my work, I often looked inward into the atom, into the unseen structure of matter. But here, you are looking outward, upward, and realizing that the universe is not distant. It is reaching you, even now, in ways you cannot feel. So the next time you look out of that airplane window, watching the clouds drift beneath you, remember this. You are not just traveling across the earth. You are moving through a field of cosmic energy, part of a vast and continuous exchange between your world and the stars. And now you understand it. Full, your home, radon gas. Now we come to something far closer than the sky above you, closer than your phone, closer than the food you eat. Your home, the place you trust, the place you feel safest. Walls, floors, a roof built to protect you from the outside world. And yet, beneath your feet, something invisible may be rising. A gas, colorless, odorless, silent, radon. It forms naturally in the earth as elements like uranium slowly break down over time. This process has been happening for billions of years long before your home was ever built. And as this gas is released from the ground, it can seep upward through cracks in concrete, through gaps in flooring, through spaces so small you would never notice them. And once inside, it can accumulate. Now here is why this matters. Unlike the radiation from your phone or the tiny traces in food radon produces ionizing radiation, the kind with enough energy to interact with your cells in a deeper, more lasting way. Not instantly, not dramatically, but slowly, over time. This is the nature of radon. It does not announce itself. It does not create immediate symptoms. It simply exists, quietly, consistently, becoming part of the air you breathe every day. And this is what makes it important. Not frightening, but important. Because among all the everyday sources we have discussed, radon is one of the most significant when exposure is left unchecked. Now listen carefully. This is where knowledge becomes action. You cannot see radon, you cannot smell it, but you can measure it. Simple tests exist. Small devices that sit in your home and reveal what your senses cannot. This is not panic. This is precision. If levels are low, you continue your life without concern. If levels are elevated, there are effective ways to reduce it: ventilation systems, sealing entry points, improving airflow. Solutions exist. You are not powerless here. In my lifetime, we worked with radiation before fully understanding its long-term effects. We handled it with curiosity, but without the caution you now possess. You live in a different time, a time where the invisible can be detected, measured, understood, managed. So do not fear your home, but do not assume either, because true safety is not the absence of danger. It is the presence of awareness. And the next time you step inside, close the door and take a breath. Remember this. The most important forces are not always the ones you can see, but the ones you choose to understand. And here lies the lesson. Like all forces, radiation is neither friend nor foe, is a tool. Its impact depends on how it is used. One scan might bring clarity, another might be unnecessary. The power comes with responsibility, guided by knowledge. For most people, a single scan is harmless. Your body recovers effortlessly. Yet, frequent or unneeded exposure can accumulate, and that is why doctors weigh the risk against the reward. This is not a story to fear, but a story to respect, to understand. You see, in my time, we glimpsed radiation's secrets and marveled at its possibilities. Today, you benefit from that knowledge. You live in a world where invisible forces can be controlled, directed, and even harnessed to save lives. So, the next time you step into a radiology room, remember, you are not merely undergoing a scan. You are participating in a precise dance with energy itself own that requires both care and understanding. Radiation, in this context, is a servant to humanity. It is powerful. Yes, but wisdom ensures it is used safely, effectively, and always with purpose. And now, with knowledge, you carry the power to engage with it wisely. And so, we return home not to a place, but to understanding. Radiation is not some distant, alien force. It is woven into the very fabric of our lives, from the phone in your hand to the fruit you eat, to the skies you travel through, and the air you breathe inside your home. It is everywhere, quietly shaping the world around you. Yet here is the remarkable truth. Most of it is harmless. Invisible, yes. Powerful, yes. But manageable. The danger lies not in the energy itself, but in ignorance, in not noticing, in not understanding. Throughout my life, I witnessed the dual nature of radiation, the wonder and the risk, the promise and the responsibility. And today, you have the advantage I did not fully possess: knowledge, awareness, the ability to act with reason rather than fear. This is what sets you apart. Awareness turns the invisible into comprehension. It allows you to make choices, small, deliberate, and profound. Moving your phone a little farther from your body, testing your home for radon, appreciating the natural energy in the food you eat, traveling the skies with understanding, using medical imaging wisely. It is not about living in fear. It is about living with insight. Because once you see what cannot be seen, you gain mastery over it. You transform the unknown into something familiar, controllable, even empowering. So remember this: the forces around us are not merely hazards or conveniences. They are teachers. They are invitations to observe, to question, to learn, to marvel at the elegance of a world invisible to the eye, yet tangible in every breath, every movement, every moment. Embrace curiosity. Embrace understanding. And in doing so, you do what I have always believed. Science should inspire not dread, but wonder. Because knowledge is not just power, it is freedom. And now you hold it. And now you hold it.